Welcome on over to Automotive World, everyone. I'm your host, Vinny Mystery, and tonight we have some huge stories regarding Volkswagen and the new Jetta and Jetta GLI for 2025. We've got a lot of information. We're not really going to go over the video here. This is a 5-minute video showing a reveal of the new Volkswagen Jetta and Jetta GLI. We do have some pictures, though, and we're going to go over all the information we have in our press release here. So, let's start off with our biggest highlight points. Obviously, we will get into the pictures later here, but for the Jetta and the Jetta GLI, we do have new front and rear end fascias. We also do have new wheel choices, new colors, and exterior style choices. We do have the interior that has been revised. So we have new materials, a revamped dash, and what they call a floating 8-inch infotainment system. And, as we covered yesterday, we know Volkswagen saw we know that we saw them tease the 6-speed manual. The 6-speed manual transmission is remaining on GLI. It will be an option that you can pay for. However, it is remaining on the Jetta GLI. Really, really awesome to see. Now, while we don't also have pricing of the GLI for 2024, we do have for 2024 an even lower starting MSRP for the 2024 regular Jetta in an automatic at $21,995. So not only are we getting a new Jetta and we still are getting a manual, it's the only VW now with a manual, but we're even getting a price decrease, this is something you'd really never see this much in the car industry anymore. So let's get right into this. Obviously, we have new fascias, front and rear, upper and lower grille design. We have a new trunk lid, a standard light bar, 18-inch alloys on the SEL and GLI. They're also going to have the optional black packages. That's always something that's been on GLI. You'll also get that option for the SE as well. We have some new exterior colors, Monterey Blue Pearl and Monument Gray. Those are going to give us some really interesting dark colors. VW always kind of does those grayscale colors. I don't really mind them. I quite like them. They're pretty decent. We've got some other features here. You've got that 8-inch display that's going to be standard across all the models. So whether you get the cheapest Jetta or the GLI, that 8-inch floating display is going to be available across all the models. SE models bring comfort, convenience that are going to be found in previous SEL models. So new SE models are going to have even more than last year's SEL, which is really, really interesting. Some of that being, Sirius XM, satellite radio, things like that. Also, as well as the wireless app connect and wireless charging pads for wireless charging devices. And the sunroof is still going to be an optional upgrade. Really cool to see that they didn't get rid of that. In terms of our 40th edition here, as we saw on the GLI, we've got some of those options and some of those colors coming to the regular Jetta in the S trim. Really, really cool to see that. GLI models are going to be uniquely equipped with new perforated Vienna leather seating surfaces. The GLI always usually has some exclusive stuff just because it is the top of the range. It is the one that is, really marketed towards enthusiasts and things like that. So obviously the GLI always does have those, exclusive kind of trim pieces and, just kind of decals and things like that. So really, really cool to see that we're going to get a lot of exclusive stuff here for the GLI, but also that the regular Jetta is getting a lot more stuff, and especially a lot more luxury stuff that was usually found on the higher end trims last year. It's going to be found this year, even on the lower end trims. But the biggest thing, we saw that manual yesterday, and what we have here is under the hood. So for under the hood, both these engines are going to stay the same. So the regular Jetta is going to get that 1.5 liter 4-cylinder. It's a 158 horsepower turbocharged engine, matched with their 8-speed automatic transmission, just a normal torque converter, nothing crazy. And the GLI remains with the 2-liter turbo that's going to give us up to 228 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, and it's still going to keep the 6-speed manual and the 7-speed DSG dual clutch. There's nothing wrong with that. I didn't expect them to change the power outputs for the regular Jetta. I kind of knew VW wouldn't change it on the GLI because they do want to keep this obviously affordable. And even though both of these cars are actually selling pretty well right now, as we've been covering in the last few sales reports videos, obviously sedans are still kind of a vehicle. It's they're a dying breed still. So what I have liked to have seen VW add more horsepower? Yes, I would have loved to seen as much horsepower as the Golf GTI, but then at the same time, a lot of people would probably just buy the Jetta GLI versus the Golf GTI just because it has a little bit more space, a little bit more usable trunk space. So I can understand the reason VW didn't do it, but I kind of wish that there would have been more horsepower. But that 2-liter turbo still offers a decent amount of horsepower, really good amount of torque, and really decent efficiency for what it is as well. And then obviously too, with the GLI, we do have the sport tuned suspension. You are going to have our, the DCC, the adaptive chassis, the electronically controlled limited slip diff. We've got, the electronic diff as well, the XDS, and then obviously that adaptive dampening system. And we do have a unique sport exhaust system. This is not something that's new. GLIs have had this forever. It's been one of the biggest, differentiators between a regular Jetta and a Jetta GLI. Obviously, one of them is being the engine being more powerful, but also under the hood as well. The Jetta GLI actually does give you solid upgrades. It's not just like, oh, they put a little, bigger engine in there and they don't change the transmission or the chassis or the suspension or anything like that. They actually do go all the way and actually make sure that, when you get the GLI, like it is worth it. It's not just like a cosmetic upgrade or like a half-assed upgrade. It really is a true, it's a different car in the lineup. And then obviously coming down to our safety systems, we've got the usual for 2025. All Jettas, and including regular and GLI models, have the IQ Drive System standard. This is really, really big because when I bought my T1, I had to pay extra for some of those safety features. The fact that we have all the IQ Drive System standard gives us travel assist, front assist, being our forward collision emergency braking, pedestrian monitoring, active blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, adaptive cruise control, stop and go, lane keep assist, emergency assist. I mean, this is really, really big. The fact that you're getting all of those safety systems standard, no matter which model you buy, that is absolutely huge. And the fact that, even on the 2024 model, they're, making this cheaper, but, VW is focusing here, especially on the regular Jetta models, which they should be. They are focusing on price and affordability. And so the fact that we're getting all of that standard, that is really, it's a big thing. And it's quite a comprehensive package, especially for the pricing of this vehicle. Jettas have always been known to, a lot of times, if you got enough money, it can be a great first car. And I mean, if I was a parent or something, if I had a little bit, enough money to buy a brand new car for my kid, and it nothing crazy, but one of the cheapest ones out there, the Jetta, which was already a great contender just for safety and just pricing and fuel efficiency and things, it just got even better. So that's really, really cool to see that. And the craziest thing is that this revamped Jetta lineup is going to be reaching dealers not by the end of quarter 4, by the end of quarter 3 in 2024. So realistically, these new Jettas are actually coming up right around the corner. So we should be seeing these, as of right now, unless things get delayed, we should be seeing this all-new Volkswagen Jetta lineup by dealers before even like Christmas time, before even October. That's really crazy to see that. And as VW mentioned up here, the 2024 automatic is going to get a lower starting MSRP. So the fact that we know VW is trying to focus on affordability here, and the fact that we know that they're going to lower the MSRP on 2024 models, this is great, because guess what? For those of you who can wait for a new one. It's only going to get better. You're going to get more features and things. But for those of you who need a car right now and you really are on a budget, go buy a new Jetta right now. The powertrains are the same, and you're going to get even more savings. So this is really, really good, because now, whether you buy a Jetta, a current model right now, or you wait, you're getting a good deal. buy one right now, save a little more money, or wait, get a little bit more features. This is really, really cool. A lot of times when vehicles do that and a new transition comes out, most people wait for the new one, or depending on the new one, if the old one is a way better deal, everybody will buy the old one, and obviously not as many people will buy the new one. But VW really made it it's really cool just to see that, how, you know, there's a great balance for everyone between if you want to buy a 2024 or a 2025. That being said, though, let's do the last part of this video. Let's look at the pictures on here. And we've actually got them all downloaded right here. So we're going to open them up fully and we're going to take a really good look at them. I will say, starting off with this, we look at these photos here. This is not bad. I don't think this thing necessarily looks terrible. I think it looks good. If I'm honest, though, I do think the current generation Jetta and the GLI, in my opinion, I think they looked better. I think the rear end still looks really, really nice. You know, they've still got VW, even on the Tiguan, they still do this. You know, they have the fake kind of exhaust here. It looks cool, but VW, just make it a real exhaust. Like, it's a car, it gets dirty. Like, that's the point. Just make it a real exhaust. We've got our design of the rims up here. We've got a really nice design of the new front fascia up here. Like I said, I think it looks really, really nice. However, I do think, personally, in my opinion, like I said, I think the 2024 model looks a bit better. But this doesn't look bad. I'm just not really a fan of the super small grille and things like that. The lights are not bad. This is not bad. It's just this part is kind of bothering me. It just, I don't, like I said, I don't like small grills. I think they look comical. But like I said, I don't think this vehicle looks bad. I think it looks quite good. But I do think the older generation, in my opinion, looked better. The 2024 model. And obviously we can see here, you know, everything's lined up pretty well here. There's a little bit of a gap here, but it's not too terrible. Keep in mind too, obviously this can, you know, this isn't the final output of it yet, so obviously those things can and will be worked out. We have a nice side profile over here. Like I said, the rear looks still pretty much the same. Even the side profile, like just, you know, the vision of it, it still looks the same. Rims, you know, look still relatively the same. But really nice paneling and things, really nice shaping and things. We have really solid lines. Everything is matched up really, really well. It's quite hard to do a lot of that, and it's done, like I said, really quite well. Do wish they would do the real exhaust, but it is what it is. Yeah, we come down to our other pictures here. We have another front profile of it here. And then we have another rear fascia of it here. This is the SEL model, so this one would be the top of the line for the, for the non-GLI models. Now we have one here. We have an interior picture of the Jetta GLI. Jetta GLIs have always had the red stitching, something that's been exclusive to them. Really, really cool to see that. Really nice seats that we can see here. Looks like, you know, obviously here we have, you know, our drinks, our cup holders and things. Very, very small center console. Very, very small. But then again, this is not a big car, so shouldn't be expecting a lot. But really nice materials. The materials look great. Obviously, we kind of have that hard, you know, relatively kind of soft touch, hard touch plastics and things. Not too bad. We've got our seatbelt things here. We've got the cotton liner and things like that here on the door panel. Really, really interesting to see that. I think the seats look pretty decent. We have an interior picture here, so we do have some, you know, unfortunately these buttons here are touch capacitive buttons, and we can see our wireless charger down here. We can see our gear shifter down here. We've got our start stop, another button here. We do have our 2 USB-C here. So we do have, you know, a panel for air conditioning and things. Obviously, it's not necessarily fully a touchscreen, but they are those touch capacitive buttons. Personally, not really my favorite thing, and it's not just something VW does. All the manufacturers pretty much are doing it, but it is what it is. And then obviously also we can see here too, we have our heated and cooled seats here as well. And we got our vents here. We've got our, you know, our hazard indicators up there. Coming back to the regular Jetta here, we can see our infotainment system at the top here. I think it doesn't look bad. I think it's really nice. This system has been around in all the vehicles. I have the same one, the Tiguan. These are the touch capacitive buttons up here. It'd be nice if they were physical buttons, but honestly, I've been using mine. I bought mine brand new. I've never had one of those buttons not work, so I actually don't mind the touch capacitive buttons up here. I do appreciate, physical power, volume, scroll wheel, tuning button. I do appreciate that. And then obviously one of the biggest things we know, because we told VW about it, we were angry about it. We can see here on the steering wheel, physical controls, not just little touch capacitive buttons, but nice physical controls. Really, really good. In terms of this infotainment system, I don't mind it. I do think, though, there could be less borders, but then again, this is a cheaper car, but I think there could be less borders overall on the system, on the top and bottom here, and on the sides. But it's not bad. But they could have done a little bit more. We have a nice picture over here of the front here as well. So we can see on this one here, this one would be the automatic. And obviously we can tell here this is a regular model, because if this was a DSG or a dual clutch, we would have the little emblem on the bottom here like they always do. We can see our electronic parking brake, auto stop start, our driving modes, cigarette lighter we've got here. Really cool that they still got that. Really, really nice to see that. Probably shouldn't be, it's not good for your health, but it is what it is. Physical lock and unlock button for the doors. Like I said, beautiful. Beautiful. I love the physical controls. Thank you, VW, for bringing them back. Please do not switch them, especially on the steering wheel. When every manufacturer wants you to do everything from the steering wheel, please keep these physical buttons. These are awesome. We can see up here, this is where we'd have our sunroof controls and things like that, cabin lights and things. Pretty nice air vents and things like that. It's a nice design. Like I said, this is a cheaper model, so it's not going to be like the best looking one in the range and everything, but it's quite decent looking, honestly. The seats on here look quite nice. For a small car, I like this design here, but it looks like a really big, storage space inside the actual door pocket. That's really, really good size. And we got our window controls and things like that. So that's really, really good to see that. It looks pretty decent, like I said. Coming over to the GLI here, same infotainment system. We do have, our ambient lighting and things. GLI does have the performance monitors, so we have our boost gauges and things like that. Really, really cool to see that. And then we have some exterior pictures of the GLI. This is with the black package. We do have our exhaust ports actually coming out here. I really, really like that. I think it looks great. The rear end looks great. This whole rear, the fascia and the profile looks really, really nice. We've got our GLI badging right there on the side. We've also got it right here under the emblem right here. Really, really cool. I think it's a good picture. And that's obviously with one of the new colors that we have as well. Looking at the front profile here, the front fascia, like I said, I think this looks great as well. We've got, the brake calipers, different color. We've got our red accenting right here, GLI logo right here. Like I said, I don't think this looks bad. I think this car does look good. I just personally think that the current 2024 model of the GLI looks a little bit better to me, but I don't think this looks necessarily bad at all. Very similar, obviously, to the regular Jetta, obviously GLI logo, things like that. We've got, obviously, on the black package as well, so we've got black mirrors. Another side profile here. Really, really good consistency. Really, really nice. And then obviously here we've got some little Easter eggs. So we've got, our highway, we've got a little logo here. Let's go. They're ready. The 6-speed, the manual, it's still here. We saw this picture yesterday. It has returned. Really, really nice to see that. Coming over here, we've got another picture of our wheels and things here. Really, really nice wheels. Looks like they got Hankook tires on here, so that's nice. Obviously, you can always change those out if you want to. But really, really solid tire, really good wheels on here, really nice brakes and things. You can see our brake caliper there and things. Really, really nice to see that. Solid, solid pictures that we have here. Like I said, I don't think this looks bad. I think it looks great. I just think, obviously, I like the current generation a little bit more. And then we've got the GLI interior here. Obviously, on this one, we have the 6-speed manual is shown off. all of our air conditioning controls, everything we saw before. We do have GLI on the bottom of the steering wheel here. They have been doing that for a while too, so that's not really too new. Now, one thing I don't like on here, VW, I just gave you credit for it. I get it. Maybe buttons are cheaper, right? And so you put on the cheaper model. I am not a fan. I can see non-physical buttons right here. These are touch capacitive buttons. And if you guys were watching my video yesterday, you guys probably saw me at the end in the bonus clip saying, you know, I've seen VW do some weird things, and sometimes they always do quirky things. They always do everything great, and then it's just like they do it on purpose, like one thing to make people angry, and I don't want to see that. Especially too on the GLI. Like, if this is an enthusiast model, you're going to be interacting with this more than even on the regular model. I wish we would have had physical buttons. I know it's the most expensive model. You know, you're thinking, oh, this looks the best, the most luxurious, and things like that. Just bring back physical buttons. Other than that, I really like this interior. I think it's solid. Very similar to the first one, obviously, just being the manual and the stitching and things. But yeah, I wish there was some physical buttons as I just saw on the regular one. Would have been really, really cool if that would have happened. And then obviously here we've got some pictures of both the GLI and the regular Jetta side by side. Obviously it's the same car, right? You know, the biggest difference in design is the colors. We have different accents and things like that. But in terms of body shaping and panel shaping and things like that, and this is literally the same car. So other than little design things like that on the exterior and the interior, the biggest differences between these cars is the powertrains, the suspension and things. And also it's really cool to see this. We've got a current generation of now both the regular Jetta GLI and regular just Volkswagen Jetta. And in the back here, we've got some cool pictures of some of the most famous Jettas. So we've got the older generation Jettas right here, and then we've also got the older, you know, GLIs here as well. Really, really cool to see that. I've always liked that design specifically as well. Really, really cool to see that. And we're pretty much almost done with all these pictures. This, you know, like I said, this is a long, you know, I apologize for this being a long video. But we're pretty much at the end with all these pictures. Most of these pictures now are probably just going to be a few repeats and things. You know, we've got one more here with the black package. A silhouette of, you know, the back. Over here, just one more of the front here. We can see them, obviously, they're driving it. And, you know, we've got that picture. So it's really, really nice. And so that's going to do it for now, everyone. Like I said, I think VW did a pretty good job with this. We will have to wait for pricing on the new GLI. I think, like I said, that they did a really good job. I think the car looks great. Personally, I think the older generation of GLI does look better, though, but that's just me. If there's one thing I had to give VW, you know, one criticism, I would have liked to seen the manual come to the regular Jetta, but honestly I know nobody would have bought it. So if I have to give one, that is one criticism, but if I have to give one real criticism, it would be those steering wheel buttons. Volkswagen, I just saw you do it on the regular Jetta. Bring those physical buttons over to the GLI. If it looks out of place, it is what it is. It's better for it to look out of place than it does, you know, and be more functional. And honestly, I thought they actually looked better than the touch capacitive buttons anyway. So that's the only thing I would knock VW for. Bring those touch capacitive buttons back to the GLI. Other than that, though, like I said, I think they did a pretty good job. Let me know what you guys and girls think down below. If you are a current Jetta or a GLI owner, are you looking to upgrade to this one? If you were a former owner, what do you think of this? Is this going to bring you back into the lineup? That's going to do it for now, though. Thanks for watching, everyone.